ladies and gentlemen, I'm handing you over to Christina. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Valentina. Have you been enjoying your day at the Real Food Festival? Are you all stuffed, full of food? I've probably gained 10 pounds in the last 3 days here. 4 days straight here is an incredibly dangerous place to be hanging out in every day.
Have a taste first of the 18 months. So this is going to be the most sort of tangy and young. So have a taste, pop it in your mouth, and then take a sip. That's sort of the best way when matching wine with food, is really to take a bite of the food first, then take a sip of the wine. By the way, after all of this, you can head over to the stand and taste Parma ham now. So again, the same region. Now they say that all you need to make Parma ham or Italian pigs, salt, air, and thyme. So now I'm going to need two other people to come up and taste now. They're coming up faster now. And can we have somebody else who can come help us taste with the 2 different ages of Parma ham? All right, so we've got 2. We can have 3 if we. Who cares? Let's have 3. So with this one, I'm going to let you decide, you 3, whether you think this goes well with the wine I'm serving or whether you don't. So, we've got the 18 months to start, so grab the 18 months. We have you to thank for the beginnings of the most famous wine from Portugal. What wine do you think of when you think of Portugal?
Port wine.
Port, exactly. We have the British to thank for the creation of port. Now, this is because during the 1700s, France and England were almost constantly at war with each other, and the English said, well, we don't like the French, so we can't be importing their claret anymore. So instead they turned to the Portuguese, and they started importing some Portuguese wines. Now at the time, the wines were thin and astringent, and they really weren't to British taste, but also they were really suffering from the long sea voyage. So what the merchants did to solve this was they decided to fortify the wines. So they decided to cut them with some brandy or some grape spirit. Now what this did was it left the alcohol level very high, and it left the sugar very high, the residual sugar in the wine, and it also meant that it fared well on these long sea voyages over to England, and that was the creation of port. Now these days there's a lot of unfortified great wines coming out of Portugal that are using the same grape varieties. And they're all indigenous varieties, so they're all really representative of the terroir of what do we think about it with Parmesan, which some people may not know as being a classic match? Which one did you find went better? Yeah, the Tawny. Do you think the Tawny? Absolutely. Now, the reasoning behind that, the Tawny is much more classic. Now, the Ruby is better with chocolate, better with a dessert, or with a Stilton. But the Tawny, because it's been a little bit oxidized, it's a bit sherry-like, it has those nutty qualities to it. During the Great Fire of London in 1666, Samuel Pepys wrote in his diary that he would take 2 things, that he did take 2 things from his burning home. Now, people always ask us, what would you take? If your house was burning down, what would you take? Your photo albums, your most prized possessions. Now, Samuel Pepys said that he took his Parmigiano and his wine. Those are the 2 things. So he's a man after my own heart. If you have any questions, feel free to